You're the one they ask. When something is genuinely difficult or genuinely urgent or genuinely nobody else's, it arrives with your name on it. And some part of you likes that. It's proof. So you take it. You take the 6 o'clock thing and the weekend thing and the you're the only one who really understands this thing. And the reward for absorbing work is more work. That's the entire mechanism. There is no version where somebody notices you're at capacity and stops, because from the outside, capacity is invisible. All anyone can see is that it keeps getting done. Then, one ordinary Tuesday, you sit down at your desk and find there's nothing there. Not sad, not dramatic, just flat. The work that used to be interesting has become a list of things to survive. Here's what almost everyone does at that point and why each one buys a week and costs a year. Then I'll tell you what a man who ran the paperwork of the Roman Empire told his own father-in-law to do about it. 3 doors. The first is to push through. You've done hard weeks before, and they ended, so you treat this as a discipline problem. More coffee, an earlier alarm, a better system. And it works, briefly, which is exactly what makes it dangerous. You haven't solved anything. You've borrowed from a version of yourself who still has to be at work in March. The second is the reset that changes nothing. The holiday. 2 weeks, properly off, phone in a drawer. And you come back genuinely restored, and within about 9 days, you are precisely where you were, because you rested the body and changed none of the arrangements that emptied it. A holiday is not a boundary. It's a pause in a process that resumes the moment you're back in range. The third door is the quiet one, and it's the one nobody admits to. You start doing the work badly. Not deliberately. You'd never decide that. You just stop volunteering. You stop reading the whole document. You deliver the version that will pass. You tell yourself this is protecting yourself, and it is in the way that letting a fire burn out protects you from the fire. It's the beginning of not caring. And the trouble with not caring is that it isn't a work setting. It's a habit of mind, and it follows you home. Here's the thread tying all 3 together. Every one of them treats your time as the renewable thing and the work as the fixed thing. It is exactly the other way round. Around the year 49, Seneca wrote a long letter to a man named Paulinus. Paulinus was not a philosopher. He was the praefectus annonae. He ran the grain supply for the city of Rome. If the grain was late, 1 million people did not eat. It is genuinely hard to imagine a job with a better excuse for never stepping back. Seneca told him to step back. The essay is called On the Shortness of Life, and its famous line is this: "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." But the sharper observation is the one sitting underneath it. Seneca noticed that people guard their property ferociously and hand their time to anyone who asks for it. Nobody lets a stranger take money out of their account. Everybody lets a colleague take an hour. And he had a word for men in your position. He called them the occupati, the occupied. His point was not that they were lazy. It was almost the opposite. Being fully occupied is the most convincing disguise a wasted life can wear. Nobody can accuse you of doing nothing. You're doing everything. That's the problem. Now the moves, 3 of them. Move 1, price the hour, out loud. When something new arrives, don't ask yourself whether you can fit it in. You can always fit it in. That's precisely how you got here. Ask what it displaces, and then say that part out loud. I can take that, and it moves the Henderson piece to Thursday. Which would you rather? You haven't refused anything. You've made time visible, which is the one thing time never is, by default. Move 2. Stop volunteering. Go back through your week and be honest about how much of it was actually assigned to you. Most of it wasn't. Most of it was a silence in a meeting that you filled, because silences are uncomfortable and you're capable. A silence is not a request. Let one sit. Somebody else's name goes in the box and the ceiling does not come down. Do that 4 times, and you'll find out how much of your workload you built yourself. Move 3. Protect 1 hour before anybody can spend it. Not in the evening. The evening hour is the one that always gets taken, because by then, you are a resource with a queue. Take it at the front of the day, before the queue forms. This was the heart of what Seneca told Paulinus. The man who waits until the work is finished to begin living will die mid-task, and the work will be reassigned by Friday. Because here's what the hardest workers get wrong. Exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from too much of what you did being chosen by somebody else. 2 people can work the same 70 hours, and only one of them comes out hollow, and the difference between them is authorship. So here's the rule. Write it down. Guard your hours like money. Tomorrow, 3 things. 1. On the next request that lands, name what it displaces before you agree to it. 2. Sit through one silence you would normally fill. 3. Block 1 hour tomorrow morning, before anyone else has a claim on it, and treat it exactly as you treat a meeting with your boss, because it is. You will not be able to make the work smaller. Paulinus couldn't. Rome still had to eat. What you always control is whether your time is spent or taken. Master that, and the job stops quietly eating the person doing it. If this helped, like it and subscribe. There's a new one every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And do one more thing. Send this to the person on your team who never says no. You know exactly who they are. They won't thank you for it, and they'll watch it twice. The journal's in the description if you want the weekly version. And watch this one next. Stop trying to be liked at work.